This video I'm going to walk you through building the ST 16-inch sphere. It comes pre-cut and all you have to do is assemble it. It's going to take 112 pixels and the 12mm bullets are what it was designed for. First you start with the plates. There is a top and a bottom. There's a heim joint on one of the hubs, and that heim joint goes to the top, so that would make that the top hub, and the other hub is the bottom hub. So we're going to slide the plates into the notches, and you can start out laying it flat on the table and just push these plates in. It's a snug fit, and they should slip in with a little bit of force. We don't want them very loose because then it wouldn't stay together as you were building it. So we just continue to stack them up till we get about a quarter of the way. Now you see I'm just over a quarter. So now I'm going to continue, but I'm going to be more careful because I'm going to flip it over on its back and continue to slide the parts in. And again, at this time I'm just slipping in the plates into the notches, and there's 16 notches, 16 plates. So when you get them all in, you should be out of plates and out of notches. I can see I'm not letting the weight of the sphere distort the plates very much, so you want to be careful with that because the sphere does get heavy as you start stacking these plates. But eventually you get all the plates in, and you probably notice there is a top and a bottom. The top of the plate is a little thicker at the top than the bottom. So once we have the final piece in, then we're ready to put the zip ties in. Now I used 2 zip ties at the top and 2 at the bottom. You could use 1, but it needs to be about 16 inches long, and just so happens my source was out of zip ties, so I chose to use 2 8-inch. And there is a hole next to the hub, and then there's a slot next to the hole, and I'm going to use that slot. Now here is a little tip. I used a roll of masking tape and actually set the sphere on it while I'm working with it, and which works out great because of the heim joint that's installed on it whenever you get the kit. So I went ahead and cinched up the zip ties, and the zip ties are going to hold this sphere together. Again, I'm using 8-inch, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Then simply snip them off, and we're ready to start putting in pixels. Here's a look at the bottom end, and again the heim joint is on the top end, and here's a look at the top side. For the pixels I used 100 pixel string and took 12 off of another string and attached them to it so that I had factory pigtails on each end. Then I started, in my case, I started at the top because I wanted my pigtails to be at the top. And I went down, splitting the wire so that the inside is on one side of the plate and the out wires are on the other side of the plate. And this zigzagged the wires down the plate. And once I got to the bottom, then I jumped over and I went to the right and then came back up. And once I got to the top, I went to the right and went back down. And another tip for you is take your 112 string of pixels and roll them into a ball. It's a lot easier if you have the pixels in a ball. It's a lot easier to handle. And here you can see that I've finished, and I have, in fact, my factory pigtails at the top, and my sphere is ready to hang and hook to power. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick little video on how I went about putting my pixels together. I simply use some zip ties and a little bit of time and a lot of patience, because the one thing you're going to notice is that some of the pixels are really tight in the openings and some of them are loose. The openings are exactly the same size, however it's the pixels that differ in size. So because of this variant, there are times whenever the pixel is going to be loose and there are times when it's going to be tight. In the case when it's loose, there's a second set of holes. Use that second set of holes to mount the pixel more securely. Otherwise, one zip tie at the top of the pixel should be sufficient to hold it in place. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you for your time.